What's good, everybody? Craziest news right now, if you guys didn't know. In Russia right now, what's going on? All the women that are pregnant are fleeing Russia, and they're fleeing to Argentina and countries that are away from the area of influence, like Ukraine and things. There's something about being born in Russia under Putin's rule. I guess there's some type of in-depth rule that they're not explaining. When you're born as a Russian citizen, Putin has control of some sort over these people born, and they do not want their babies born to be controlled by Putin. This co-signs everything that America was claiming against Putin. Understand, they're now bringing out the fact that there is drama that's happening in Russia that is beyond Putin's sickness. Remember, they were talking about Putin's sickness. It's not just that. There's deeper implications of their law that they don't want to talk about. They probably can't because, as you'll see, different stories we're getting into, you got to understand different countries have different laws and rules. And ever since the past that we know, as since Christ lived, the people that took over rule have become dictators. So they create rules that benefit them and what they want for their whole nation or a country. And that's what's causing peril amongst the world. We're going to get into different stories. There's like 100 stories that, like, I can do them all at once. I do them, but we're doing one at a time. So Russian women are fleeing. Okay, that's what's happening. So right now, as quiet as kept, Russian women are fleeing Russia. Okay, and they don't want to be there because they don't want their children to be born in Russia because there's some stipulation in the regulations that has to do with a citizen that their children would be held to. Now, if that's happening, understand they've been under this rule. That's been occurring. So that's been an issue that hasn't been talked about. And it's something that they themselves can't explain. Remember, social media across in Europe and China is being scrutinized. They're targeting it. I mean, even China's targeting TikTok and things in a sense, not letting certain rights be given to citizens because citizens can get the word out and say things. We even seen a young lady that got up on social media talking about how bad things were. And they do not want that to be known because then support would rush in to different adversaries facing them. And that would be bad for politics, obviously. I mean, but understand 2024 is going to set it straight. Now, I haven't even done a story about that like I want to. Like, I mean, that really talk about it. But understand, there's two opposing powers. There was a remark made underneath our news in America that was very troubling. And I've never even talked about it, hinted at it. I read it, saw it, just did another story. Because when I do that, it's going to really set things into perspective. It's going to match certain things I was trying to tell you guys. Like, again, yo, from the stories I've done, from the X story to other stories, guys, when I say it and you see the videos, go back and look at the X story. Everything I said was true. If you look video by video, 2 years ago, everything's completely true. Matter of fact, I down to the point I called out and said things about people were going to do and they did it in the end. Guys, it's because history repeats itself. It's not about saying, oh, I know the future. No, history repeats itself. When you learn that and see that, people want to do it and make it repeat in a way that specializes to them. But that's not what it's about. It's about finding God, yo. But the thing is Russia godless? That's the question here. Is Russia godless? That's a very curious thing. Is that part of the scrutinized part of why Putin's able to do what he's doing? Like, how is pregnant women fleeing your country? Like, I mean, they're pregnant and they're doing what they can to flee you. That shows that whatever it is they fear, being born in Russia, it's very dire. And that's my thing I'm trying to put out there so you guys understand. Whatever's going on in Russia, it has a lot to do with why these pregnant women are fleeing. And they don't want to have their babies to become Russians. And they're Russian. What's going on? Why? You got to think about it logically. It makes sense that there's something deeper going on. Just look at the details. Look at the news stories around. That's the thing. You got to look at the news stories around and work your way back to the centralized one. They match regardless if they're different issues because each issue stems from an occurrence in one issue. So, for an example, them fleeing, they're pregnant, okay? Now remember, there was rules that they have over there, well, that we know of, China. They had rules where you can only have one child, and they only wanted male childs at some point. Then they changed it because everyone called it out. Whatever it is, until they stand out and start talking about it publicly, it's not going to be fixed. You have to publicly speak up so that you get assistance from the places that need it. And the place they need assistance from it's definitely going to be United Nations. They're not going to find it in places like America or places like Germany. Like, you can't look at other countries. You got to go to the mother and father company that can help you, the organization that can give you some type of, let's say, leeway, or penalize your leader for doing these things he's doing. When you don't do that, you risk a lot. It's very dangerous. You're literally putting your faith in whatever they stand for, because they don't stand for capitalism. They don't stand for capitalism. There's nothing capitalistic about their whole society. They control your resources. They control your ability. They control your children. And here's what I'm trying to say. My belief, my personal opinion, is that the reason these women are fleeing Russia has something to do with the rule and control they gain of their children. There's something probably that is in their stipulation, in their constitution, or something that deems that child will serve under Russia. So that means that if there was a war and it's a male child, he has no choice but to go. That is allegedly my position and precise thoughts on why they don't want to be there when they have their children. But then again, on the flip side, what if they have a daughter? Is there something for her as well? Oh, she has the aid in the war, no matter what she wants to do. Don't matter. Like, are stipulations like that. To give you an example quickly in the country, in Israel, and see, it's different. This is different. By being born in Israel, every single individual has to serve in the military. It don't matter, man, woman, child. No, well, of course, children can, but man or woman, you have to serve in the military in Israel. You don't have a choice. But here's my thing. That's what makes them such a unique, prosperous, and dangerous country to fight. Because you try and fight Israel, everybody can fight. Like, all the women can fight. All the women are skilled. All of them have weapons training. All of them, like, you get what I'm saying? That's the type of culture that makes them a danger to anyone who's an enemy. But at the same time, that's what makes them powerful. You got to understand there's stipulations in other countries you never heard of, because we have choice here, free choice. There they do not. Guys, there's something deep going on. Keep your eyes open. Keep your eyes peeled. It's much bigger, and I'm pretty sure it's going to come out soon. This just happened. Russian women are fleeing to Argentina to get away from Russia to have their babies because they're pregnant. And they're leaving in droves, like in mass numbers, guys. There's deeper things going on. All rights reserved. And stay focused. Stay woke.